Hi, my name is Barbara Allan. I am author of the book Conquering Arthritis. It's been the #1 best-selling arthritis book on Amazon.com for the last 5 years. Today I'm here to talk with you about Reiter syndrome. It's also called reactive arthritis. And my personal story is that when I was 25, that was back in 1988, it's been a while now, I developed this type of arthritis, and I was camping in Michigan and I got contaminated food, so I got bacterial dysentery caused by the bacteria Shigella. So it was diagnosed as reactive arthritis, and it turns out that there are many different types of bacteria that can cause reactive arthritis, and this includes Yersinia, Chlamydia, Salmonella, and Shigella. And as I mentioned just a moment ago, it's also called Reiter syndrome. And unfortunately, there's a stigma in the medical community attached to the name Reiter syndrome. And the best I can tell is that it's because when you call your disease Reiter syndrome instead of reactive arthritis, doctors immediately think sexually transmitted disease like chlamydia. And because there's a stigma around that, and because many people seem to have, you think sex and then whatever hang-ups people have around sex just kind of come up and make the space weird, what I found is that people who call what they have Reiter syndrome actually have a lot more trouble getting good and compassionate care from the medical community. So the reason I call what I have
Reactive
Reiter
arthritis.
syndrome is because that's just what I needed to do to get good care. And what I've experienced when I've talked with other people is that the people that choose to call their condition reactive arthritis actually get doctors who are willing to talk with them and treat them in a much nicer and more effective way. So my story to go on is that my doctors initially didn't think very much about it because they said that it would go away. And what doctors are taught in medical school is usually within a month, reactive arthritis or Reiter syndrome would go away. And so mine didn't go away after a month. It was still there after 6 months. And after a year, my doctor got so angry with me that I still had it that she started calling me a slacker and a liar. And it didn't matter that I had blood tests that were showing that I had inflammation. It didn't matter that I was in obvious pain. Nothing I said counted to her, with her. She just thought I should already be well because the textbook said that I should be, and I wasn't. So she just got so angry with me that we parted ways, and I got another doctor, and within a year, that doctor couldn't deal with me anymore either because I wasn't meeting the doctor's expectations. So that's when I started turning to alternative medicine, and it actually took me several years to start finding effective treatments. But what was the turning point for me is I realized that I was allergic, like very, very highly allergic to the starch that was in every single one of the prescription arthritis medicines I'd been given. Turns out that anything that was a corn product, including the cornstarch that was in my medicine, would make my arthritis flare. So as long as I was taking the medicines that were prescribed to me, every time I popped one of those pills, I would flare up. It was doing the exact opposite of what was supposed to be happening for me. And I also had several other pretty severe food sensitivities that would also cause the inflammation to rile up in my body whenever I ate those foods. And it was the key to me starting to get well, is to figure that out. And the only reason I was able to figure it out is there's not much in the medical literature on reactive arthritis, which is maybe part of why my doctors were getting so frustrated. But a related disease called rheumatoid arthritis, which also has a very strong T-cell component to their disease, it responds to this sort of dietary intervention. And because there's so many people in the world with rheumatoid arthritis, there are a lot of really good long-term studies about what works. And so I spent years and years in the medical school library at Washington University in St. Louis looking at anything that worked for rheumatoid arthritis, not just that would suppress the symptoms, but any kind of study that actually showed long-term good results of people getting well. And that's when I discovered that for many people, diet is such a strong component. So it's very ironic that I did heal myself of the reactive arthritis, but in the process, because I spent so much time researching what works for rheumatoid arthritis, I actually wrote a book that works even better for rheumatoid arthritis than reactive arthritis. So that's like one of those strange little twists of faith, but this is what I have to tell you today about reactive arthritis, and I can share many of the other things that were important to me, but this is like important to me in my healing, but that's really the best place for any kind of autoimmune reactive arthritis to start looking when you're looking for your own personal cure is what kind of foods do I have a delayed hypersensitivity to, and how can I eliminate those from the diet. And again, I give very detailed instructions about how to do that in my book, and you can also get some idea about how to do this by looking at my website, www.conqueringarthritis.com. Thank you very much for joining me today. Bye.